Right. So this is Millie. But with Millie we have to adapt to certain little different piece of training, because when Millie first comes out of the kennels she's absolutely hyper. She's mad to run, mad to hunt, mad to chase, mad to retrieve everything you throw for her, which is, like I say, everything you want in a spaniel. But when you're trying to train a young dog, sometimes you just have to adjust. So trying to do the same regime and get Millie to sit and stay for long periods of time, it doesn't work sometimes, basically. So what you've got to do is adapt it. And sit and stay, Millie stay. So we just do like short sits and stays. Good girl, good girl, clever girl. And heel. And sit and stay, Millie stay. So we're not going to try and walk off 50-60 yards. Not at the moment. Good girl, good girl. As you can see, with all this bobbing and weaving, she knows where we're going, and she's anticipating that she's going to be hunting for tennis balls. So as you can see, what we'll do is we'll let her run off a bit of steam first, and once she's run off a bit of steam, then we'll do a bit more sitting and staying. Just like I say, when they're young dogs like this, just 12 months old, you have to sometimes, you know, I'm not saying, I won't say a good trainer, but a trainer that really, you know, knows what he's doing, can always adapt to each separate dog. Because there's no point, you know, you have basically the same rules, but you can shape them about to suit each individual pup. I suppose that's what I'm trying to say. And the worst thing we're combating at the minute in this area with feeders out, there's always cock pheasants wandering about and hens, you know, first thing in the morning. And sit, Millie sit. Here's my clever girl. Here's my clever girl. Here's my clever Millie. Good girl. Ah! Dad. Sit. Millie. No, sit still. Sit still. Get on. Again with Millie, she's very fast across the ground. And obviously all the field trialing people will be saying that's not fast, but this dog's actually scenting as it goes. It's not just running over things like a hoover. Even though I mean, I'm directing her, I can direct her in which direction I want her to go. She'll pick up a bit of scent like there. She's not afraid to deviate from it, she's not running a perfect pattern. Believe you me, if you were looking for pheasants or partridges or woodcock, she'd pick them up. She smelled where the tennis ball was. And she's a very keen eye, this dog. You have to be so careful when you're trying to put a ball out. We managed to do it. Yeah, see. Good girl! Clever girl! Here to me. Here to me, hand sit up. Sit up. Good bird, good girl. Get on. Get on. No, obviously this isn't a very hard field to hunt, but it's the way you train, you know, the way you teach young pups so that they get to know what you need of them. Ah! Well, that's not exactly what we needed. Sit. We needed you to stop, but we've only just started now with Millie with the stop whistle away from the body, and as you'll see, you always have to try and no, come here to me, you. Never give a command you can't enforce. Get on. But Millie's about 4 or 5 weeks behind Taz, because we started with Taz a lot earlier than we did with Millie. She's still extremely baby. She hasn't just got that steadiness that Taz has. She's still very puppyish. Get on. She wouldn't run over everything. If there was a bird out there, she'd pick it. And sit. Sit. Come here to me. Good girl. Come here to me. Good girl. And sit. Yes. Yes, you little monkey. And heel. Right, so we're going to do the same thing with Millie as we did with Taz. You know, when you see people making training videos, as they'll probably explain on them, everything's a stepping stone. Everything is like a building block, and you start with the basics of obedience, and you move on to you know, building up the whole picture by building different levels as you go along. So we're going to give her again a simple, no, we don't want you to jump up, that was my fault. I'm going to give you a simple memory retrieve. Right. So now she's seeing that, like I say, again, it's a simple retrieve. That little obstacle in the way, but a nice little gap that she can jump over. And I mean, obviously as a young dog matures and it gets more experience, its mind opens up and it can remember and store things in it, and the ability to mark a retrieve, to memorize it, have a little bit of a time where, like we are now, a bit of a distraction where we've walked away. Now hopefully she's still got that retrieve in her head. Millie. She wouldn't long be going out for a retrieve and coming back with it. Now, see, she's still learning, so she's figuring out, yeah, it's behind that hedge somewhere. So there she goes. She's used a bit of common sense, found the gap, and she's used even more common sense because she's come round and come through the gap. Now, obviously, if there hadn't have been a gap, she'd have had to come through the hedge. Here to me. Good girl, give it to me. And sit up. There, bird, good girl. Good girl, clever girl. Eh? Who's my clever girl? So that's Millie. Eh? Right. Right, so as I was saying before, we've just let her do a bit of hunting. We've let her have a few retrieves. And we've just hopefully taken a little corner off her energy wise. And sit and stay, Millie, stay. Millie, stay. Millie, stay. So as you can see now, girl, clever girl. So she's just that bit steadier. So that's a tip for anybody, and heel. And sit and stay. Millie, stay. Millie, stay. So we're just reaffirming that. And like I say, it's just a little adjustment that for anybody that's training a young dog, don't be frightened just to swap things about. See there, like the mind wandered a bit. Use the voice, not the hands. Gum. Good girl. Clever girl. Yeah, clever girl. And you end up with a dog. Sorry, you probably couldn't hear that. You end up with a dog then that wants to do things for you because it loves you and you love it, not because it's frightened or terrified of you. So, and heel. Alright, come. That's Millie.